as a talk host. And you know me as a journalist, writer, columnist. I'm on the ALDEF blog, Asian American Legal Defense and Education Fund. Wow, there's a little thing in my hair. Got to get that out. I mean, this is sort of like the FM radio of webcasting, where the old FM radio, where something happens, you're trying to play a record and it slips and the old hippie days. That's sort of what this is akin to. This is the new underground railroad? No, underground radio of the modern day. And I know it's going to be so quaint in, say, 20 years when we're all wearing those Apple Vision Pros, because I heard an analogy of exactly what that is. It's like putting the screen right there on your face, like taking your copy and like putting it right there in your face. Only it's a screen. And so really, can you imagine in 20 years you'll be still staring at an iPhone screen or a laptop screen? I mean, barely. We're looking at laptop screens. An iPad screen. But now we're making that move toward totally in your face. Totally in your face, in your eyeballs. Everyone has tried it in the past. Google has tried it, the Google Glass thing. Remember, they tried to make it like an exclusive club to try it out for $1,500 or whatever. And now, my music. Where has my music gone? Now, they'll probably have a deal where you can play your music. Now, the whole thing, it's just this repeating deal, right? It's just constant. You're just, the screen is in your face. I mean, that's intriguing now, right? We all want something bigger, better, bolder, brighter, faster. But do you want to pay $3,500 for it? Maybe you'll get a knockoff. My camera. Something went wrong with my camera as I was playing around here with my. Okay, I'm gonna do something funny here. This is like on the spot. What am I doing here? Or now I got to switch cameras. Oh, you're learning all about the secrets. All about the secrets here. Oh, there. Now there's the better camera. See, one's a in-your-face view, and the other was a sky view. I guess. Anyway, welcome to Emil Amok's Takeout, my takes on all things considerable. I am going to keep this short, as Robert Reich is known to say. Of course, it's easy, right? That's easy for us. But no, I went to a doctor today, and I thought, well, maybe the doctor would spill over, and maybe I'll do a repeat today or something. And turns out the doctor, every time you think something is bad, see, I'm at the point where I used to ignore doctors and not go to them, and now I have insurance, I can pay, so I go to the doctor. I'm not going to look up something on WebMD. I'm not a doctor. I'm going to have the guy who's a doctor, and he had a couple of assistants. I'm going to have them tell me what I'm doing wrong, or I'm going to have them tell me not to worry. And so I went there. I was prepared to worry about something, and because of that, my blood pressure went up. I mean, it was like at least 10 points higher than it usually is. And I didn't get much sleep. I was a wreck. I said, "Thank goodness I'm here to see you, Doc." And he said, "Nothing's wrong with you. Go home. You don't really want to see that referral to that other specialist." Now, because what's he going to tell you? He's going to say, "You're all right. Go home." And I said, "Yeah, you're right. I'm going to stay vegan. I'm going to be good. Everything's going to be fine." I mean, that's what going to the doctor's about. I mean, doctors love vegan patients because they barely have to do anything to them. It's more like, you can take a cigarette break with me, Oh, it's Emil. He's all right. He's just he just needs me to interpret WebMD for him, but he's all right. And he comes in, takes 5, because he's busy with patients. I'm like, doctors love their vegan patients because of that, because they can say, Emil, he's all right. Just gonna calm him down. I'm sure that's what he told his assistant. Anyway, so I'm back, but I've got another appointment, so I'm gonna just do something quickly because I got to go live. We're here live, 2 p.m. Pacific, to talk about stuff, and there's a lot of stuff out there to talk about here on Emil Amok's Takeout. My takes on all things considerable. Thank you for joining me. And if you don't catch us live, then you're catching us on the repeat, which I put incessantly because, a lot of people want to see it live coming up on, it's something live. We're attracted to it. But this one's going to be short. The big news, even though there were other stories that were big, like, the Pope, they're looking to see if he's got some kind to fix his herniated something or other. He needed a elective stomach surgery. He's fine. He's resting. Say a Hail Mary to the Pope. Although, I was watching a news show. Jesus not only saves, but Jesus advertises. Have you seen those ads? Jesus knows, or he remembers, or something. Some catchy phrase about Jesus. Jesus notices us or something. Well, if he notices us, why does he have to advertise? Just a question I had. Anyway, so the Pope was a big story today. The other big story that no one touched on, and that is, they touched on it a bit, but that shooting in Richmond, Virginia at the graduation, other people were reporting it, which is why if a news organization did not have people at the event, then they had no reason to report it live. So you didn't see CNN report it until much later in the day. It was not mentioned throughout in the morning. And yet it was a real thing. A guy with a gun at a graduation shoots 2 people, hurts about 5 people or so. It's a shooting. That's what we cover in America. We cover America's fascination and weirdness with guns, which includes a graduation shooting, which I don't think I've ever heard of before. So there's always going to be these firsts. But that wasn't even on CNN, like I said. Now when I was watching at 7 in the morning, what was on CNN, and it remains the big news of the day, and that is the air is bad. The air is bad because of Canada's forest fires. They're wildfires, and they got a lot of wild up there in Canada, as you can imagine. And as CNN pointed out, ironically, today is Clean Air Day in Canada. All the clean air, or to get the clean air in Canada with all the wildfires, they're blowing all the bad air into the United States. And it's causing major respiratory threats all throughout the Northeast, Midwest, Detroit, bad air, New York City, bad air, Boston, bad air, all the way down to the Carolinas. And it's just, it's ridiculous, but it's, of course, linked to climate change. Why do we have fires? Because it's hot. Why is it hot? Climate change. It's hot up there in Canada, creating tinder for fires in the wildfires and the brush. Look, in California, we experienced all this a year ago, 2 years ago. We know what this is about. So I feel for you, New York. My daughter lives in New York, and she was sending me pictures of the yellow sky. I feel for you, New York. And here's the other thing. We just have to think about what this means, because we are seeing in this close-up form what life could be like when the air quality of our major cities is as bad as it is in some some big cities where they've done nothing to mitigate against climate change. They've done nothing to help, fix a situation like this. We're talking about Asian cities, Latin American cities, just big metropolitan areas where they can't do anything about the cars and the pollution. And here, because of the wildfires blowing in, we get this terrible situation with the air. Everyone is paying attention. It's a top story. People are worried about PM 2.5, particulate matter 2.5, which is so small. Particulate matter is so small that it goes into your respiratory tract. It can cause these debilitating illnesses. It can aggravate your asthma. It can cause these respiratory problems that bring on early death. I mean, that's not, this is why we have, regulates air pollutants. The biggest threat is particulate matter, PM 2.5. So small, can't see it. So dangerous, sneaks in, kills you. When it happens in concentrated forms like we're seeing now. A British study showed that, you get hammered by PM 2.5, it's like smoking like more than 150 cigarettes a year. If you're a non-smoker, you'll feel the difference. Anyway, this is some of the concerns. In fact, PETA, I do the PETA podcast. Belmont is the next race of the Triple Crown. It's on Saturday. If things do not let up, and it doesn't look like they will, and if the wind doesn't counteract and blow the smoke from Canada elsewhere, it may be too dangerous to race on the Belmont Day, Saturday. And so PETA has already called for maybe closing down the Belmont. They've already shut down races in a number of horse racing facilities around the country in the Northeast. Finger Lakes, I think a race course in Delaware shut down. It's just not safe. And the whole protest against the Triple Crown on the part of animal rights activists is all about safety for the horses. If you're telling people not to go outside, to limit their outside activities, if you're shutting down gym classes, PE classes, professional sports, why would you dare have the Belmont on Saturday if the pollutant level is high? It's high now. It's somewhere around someone was telling me about the scale. There's like a scale of like, when it reaches 200, you shut down. And it has reached about 160, 170 in some places, and they've shut down races there. It's already at 200 in Elmont, where the Belmont is, in New York, Long Island. And they're hoping that maybe they could do something to, maybe you need a big, like, windmill or something to, like, fan it out. I don't know if it's worth it. Shut down the race. Simple as that. As long as we're talking sports, yesterday I talked about this sports thing, Live Golf, right? Live merging with the PGA. Tiger Woods and, there goes my internet. Virtual background. Oh, the virtual background was shut down. Okay. All right, I'm still up, they say. So I'm going to have to lose my bubbles. Okay, that's all right. I don't mind losing my bubbles. So, yeah, Live Golf, I told you my take yesterday on Live Golf. I don't want any part of it. I don't want any part of the Saudis. The Saudis. the Saudis. And some people say, oh, you're pearl clutchers. Oh, you moral pearl clutch. No, it's not that. It's that there's right is right and wrong is wrong. And the PGA was right to not get in bed with the live folks, not get in the bed with the Saudis. But now to say, we're in bed with the Saudis, that kind of capitulation, I don't want any part of it. That's not an enterprise I want to be part of. My choice. Now you say, a lot of people saying, come on, Emil, grow up. This is the way business works. No, it's not the way business works. It's not the way doing things the proper and moral way works. And hats off to Tiger Woods. I don't think has said anything, but Rory McIlroy has come out and he's got a little bit of, as they say, egg on his face because he was there with Tiger saying no to live, but now he's reluctantly dealing with the fact that the PGA has merged. Look, people are going to have to do what they have to do, but if you can afford to not, it's the moral thing. It's the right thing to just say bye-bye PGA. Now, I'm not a professional golfer, so that's easy for me. But I know how the world works. I don't want a world where the Saudis are using sports to sports wash their sins. I don't want to live in that kind of world. I don't want to participate in that endeavor. I'm a vegan. I don't eat meat for a certain reason. I know what it takes to be. I mean, I don't try to proselytize. I mean, you can eat meat across from me all you want. I'm not going to eat meat. You can tempt me. Look, it's not a matter of purity. But we try to be better, right? And I don't need golf. I don't love golf. I don't want golf that bad that I have to compromise my morals. I have to compromise what's right. So you can lecture me and say, oh, Emil, you're clutching your pearls. You're just, don't you know the way the world works? You know, the Saudis are everywhere. Everyone, yeah, you know what? That's politics. And that's why I vote for the other guys who won't play with the Saudis in that way. Oh, they're all that way. All right. Well, there are degrees. This is a line for me. We don't need to take blood money. We don't need to sports wash. We don't need golf that bad. It's just the way it is. For me, not telling you what to do, unless you want to be right. Unless you want to be on the side of the good guys. I mean, that's what it is, basically, right? A couple other things before we depart for my other medical procedure today. I saw some guy. There's a lot of guys saying, I'm going to run. Mike Pence is running, for goodness sakes. Mike Pence. You know what startles me about Mike Pence? He's an old guy. Now, he is an old guy. You saw him the other day with his motorcycle. He's an old guy. He looks old. He thinks old. And here's what gets me. I am older than Mike Pence. I should be vice president. But I don't want the job. I don't want that job. But just think, if I had that job, I would have been a better vice president than Mike Pence. Because if I was vice president instead of Pence on January 6th, then there would be no real moral hang-up. Hang Emil Guillermo. Hang Emil Amok. People would be fine with that. Now they have to think about it a little bit. Hang Mike Pence is a residual impact of January 6th. It makes people wonder. Like, you know, with me, there would be no question. Hang Emil Guillermo. But no, I didn't. I wasn't vice president. I should have been. Anyway, when I found out that Mike Pence is older than I am, that I am older than Mike Pence, my estimation of him dropped. I said, "You're a younger guy, and you look like 15 years older than me, and you talk like you do. My God." So look, the Republicans are out there trying to figure out who wants to run or who wants to take on Trump. Being a Democrat like I am, the goal is what kind of Republican would lure me to maybe think about him, think about or her. How I feel about Nikki Haley. I just don't think she's qualified. That's just me. I don't. It's not that I dislike Nikki Haley, but my South Asian politicians, Kamala Harris. That I would like to see that cat fight, Kamala and Nikki duking it out. That would be interesting. But I saw a guy today who was kind of interesting. This guy, Doug Borgum. And here's why I think I like Doug Borgum so much. I mean, he's kind of like a rube, right? Small town guy, North Dakota. Incidentally, North Dakota, largest Asian population in North Dakota, Filipinos. I saw that in Pew last year. I don't think it's changed that much. Largest Asian population, Filipinos. And Borgum, it's a matter of he said something in his speech today. He said, I live in a state where it's neighbor helping neighbor. We help people with the crops. We help people. And I'm sure I'd have a problem with his, if he sticks to vegetables, no problem. But, he's talking about raising cattle. Maybe you've got a problem there. And also on abortion, he's got a strict abortion law. I know we'd have a problem there. But as far as a conservative who might lure me into taking a look, Doug Borgum, actually kind of interesting. I also like the fact that he was a software guy. Farms are high tech, and you need software, not just for the farms, but for other businesses. Apparently they got bought up by Microsoft, and I just like his attitude. But with Borgum, it might just be the economy, energy, and security, national security. Those are the three issues. What about race? What about all these social issues? The one thing that might give me hope with Borgum is that he's had to deal with the tribes. He's had to deal with Native Americans. And haven't checked this out, but he indicates that he's down with them and they're down with him. So maybe worth a look-see, Doug Borgum, especially since he's the longest of the long shots. Chris Christie, I don't know. Mike Pence, I don't know. Tim Scott, I've got more on Tim Scott later. But I just think Borgum may be worth a look. All right, some other news today. Chris Licht out. Now, this surprises me, especially after he made the call earlier this week where he said, hey, CNN has done such a great job on the Trump documents and the grand jury and prosecutor Jack Smith. CNN's done a great job. And he said, this shouldn't be about me. I'm backing you guys up. He made a big thing at an editorial phone call on Monday. I thought, maybe that's going to be conciliatory enough to those who find his first year a little tough, because he was really trying to imprint his stamp on CNN. I mean, you can see it now. They got these weird shows now where anchors are walking and talking and moving around, and He screwed up the morning show. He fired Don Lemon, which is actually good because now I can watch my friend Lawrence O'Donnell. I mean, not that it was ever a choice, but Lawrence, I like Lawrence. He's actually did a great show last night. I wrote him an email and said, wow, to bring up HR Bob Haldeman on the night that we learned that Mark Meadows, chief of staff, has talked before the grand jury, the special prosecutor, whatever. He's testified. I mean, Lawrence is good at bringing in the historical aspects and then letting you see this big picture, that this isn't the first time this kind of thing has happened. And I'll tell you what got me is that he said HR Bob Haldeman died at age 67, which is definitely too young. Definitely too young. So anyway, I think Chris Licht at CNN, just trying to do the right thing after he did all the wrong things. And I have to say, I did not overreact to the Trump town hall as much as other people because I thought they got news. Caitlin Collins did she was overmatched, but she did a pretty good job at trying to fend off Donald Trump. But she got kind of run over a little bit, but she got the news out of him. She got him to say some damning things. I didn't think it was that bad. It was bad that there was that live audience that Licht told Trump to just have, do his thing, have a good time. It egged him on. It sort of took away from the seriousness of this event. But anyway, I thought that Licht did enough to overcome that. Apparently not. Gone immediately. And, when you're gone immediately, and if you're the CEO and the chair and all that, they practically show up with the Spanish Armada to get you out the door. Hey, leave your things. We'll send it. We'll send boxes to your pied-à-terre wherever you are staying. We want you out now. He hasn't said a thing, Chris Licht, but I guess I saw one of the first announcements on the CNN Central, the show that Chris Licht is kind of blown up and has his anchors walking around like they're runway models. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. They're just walking around, the cameras are flying around, and I'm a news connoisseur. I've been in the news business. I know what it's all about. He was trying to remake things, and that's not how you remake things to get ratings. I mean, it's all superficial. What does it is the hard work, the reporting, and CNN did some good reporting this week on the documents case, as I said. And now there's a troika led by Emil, a name that I know from my career in broadcasting, because if you wanted to get through the doors at ABC, there was one name. You had to go through talent development, and that was Emil. I think I got 1 or 2 phone calls from her or to her, and I don't think she was as impressed with me as I was with her. But she's gone on to do great things at CNN with the documentary division, but now she's part of the troika. There's like another person from editorial and a couple people from editorial. There's 4 people total. Good luck to CNN. I think we need a CNN. They're kind of like I prefer watching CNN because I don't want opinion all the time. I know where to get opinion. But with CNN, you just give it to me straight. Give me a little analysis. MSNBC, it's like analysis, opinion. They're in the viewpoint game. Fox, definitely viewpoint game. Where do you go for just the regular news? You almost have to read. You have to go to the newspapers. And then I know if it's in the right gutter, they're telling me that's the most important story. If it's top of the fold, we know that's the most important story. You know, I wish they're still my go-to. I still watch them. Still watch CNN, and I watch MSNBC. And I watch Fox very little, because most of it's opinion. Very little do I watch Fox. And then second, MSNBC, and most CNN, because I'll just tune in for the newscast. I just want the news. Anyway, then so you watch the news, and then you come here and you see, well, what's Emil think about that? All right, a couple more things. Licht is out. It's sad, but as I said in previous shows, good news management is hard to find. And in fact, of all the news managers that I've had since I've been in broadcasting, I've been in broadcasting since 1975. I might have had one or two good bosses, and all the rest were really variations of not so good. Men and women and minorities. And actually, the best are like the bosses I have now, where, you know, I write for a number of publications, and they tell me, they give me feedback. We don't fight. They pay. Everyone's happy. Not true in the big time. The big time. All right, I talked about Live. I'm done with Live. Live Golf, ugh. Done with them. We'll talk about Scott tomorrow. Anything else I need to talk about? Oh, I need to talk about my show. Emil Amok, lost NPR host, found in San Francisco. Yes, it's a version of the Emil Amok lost NPR host found under St. Mark's, which I did in New York in February. This is a San Francisco version, not necessarily an all-new version, but parts. It's the dates at the San Francisco Fringe are August 12th, 7 p.m., Saturday, August 12th, 7 p.m., Thursday, August 17th, 8:30 p.m., and Saturday, August 19th at 1 p.m. Catch it. Emil Amok, the descriptive line, a native son of San Francisco, confronts his colonized father, American history, and his Filipino-ness. Emil Amok, lost NPR host, found in San Francisco. So check it out. Solo performance, stand-up dramedy, I like to call it. Saturday, October 12th, 7 p.m., Thursday, August 17th at 8:30 p.m., and Saturday, August 19th at 1 p.m. Save the dates. And then, and that weekend, like, I'm immediately on an airplane to New York, where I'm appearing in the Broadway, well, the off Broadway production. I think it's off. It's not. There's one more off than expected. The play, The Conductor by Ishmael Reed. So it's going to be an exciting August. There. We did a shorty. I'm trying to make sure that, I was going to mention some other things I'll mention about climate change, gay rights, because listen to show 534 about your red dress as a form of free speech. And of course, we're still waiting for that affirmative action ruling. I don't know when it's coming out. If it's not coming out this week, I think it may come out next week. Supreme Court. I'm gearing up for it. Check my blogs or my columns on ALDEF, the Asian American Legal Defense and Education Fund. aaldef.org/blog. Hey, this is our show, Emil Amok's Takeout, my takes on all things considerable. I'm here Monday through Friday, around 2 o'clock Pacific, to talk about the day's news in a traditional news talk kind of thing. Although, hey, you don't get to call me. Maybe if you're on Facebook, you can like Send me a chat if you want. I mean, you don't have to, but if you wanted to. I mean, there are ways for two-way communication. You can email me. I'll read your email. Better to just Venmo me to Emil-Guillermo. So we're here live, and then we record. We'll have this repeat. Hey, if you're in the area where there's bad air, take heed. I mean, it's funny. Everyone is turning to masks now, like, because masks mean something. I mean, when it was fiery the last couple of years in California, people wore masks. They're fighting fires and COVID. So, I mean, if you didn't throw out all your masks, good for you. Because you're armed against the bad air. But please take care of yourself. Take it seriously. They should shut down the Belmont, by the way. What else? Oh, check us out on YouTube at EmilAmok1, Twitter at EmilAmok, Facebook.com/EmilGuillermo.media, and we put the replays on amok.com. All right, that's it. Emil Guillermo here. Oh, we like to meditate. So I usually send you off with a loving kindness meditation because it's all about love. It's love, self-love. And so, as I wish for me, I wish for you. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. And may you live with ease. Emil Guillermo here. Till next time. Mahal Kita.